Yes, people, welcome back to the SPTC podcast. I, as always, am your host, Jay Mcintosh, joined by the hatless Simon Phillips. Si, how are you doing?
I'm good. I do feel very naked without a hat on, though.
It suits you. Honestly, it does. How many games into your season are you, Si? Because I keep seeing, for those that don't follow Si on Instagram, there's always a story of his name in the lineup. So I just wanted to get some further details.
Yeah, I forgot I've got you on Instagram now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're 4 games into the league.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Jay's talking about the team that I play for, obviously.
Yes.
Which, yeah, I've spoken a bit about it on the website as well. But yeah, we're doing all right. We started, our preseason was horrific, but we just started to gel together now. It's a completely new team, all very young players. And we're just starting to get things together now. So we've had a couple of decent results in the last couple of weeks.
And you're the Thiago Silva figure, are you, Si, in that young squad?
Literally, I'm the oldest player in the team. So
yeah. Are you?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, look at that. The knowledge and experience that the listeners pay for that your teammates get for free. Oh, nice. Okay, well, let's stick with talking about young players then, because Chelsea have been on a bit of a roll, and it's not just Estevao, though he's probably the headline maker. Chelsea have been on a sort of roll of form. Now, we're not going to talk really about the Liverpool game. We can maybe mention it, just because what a nice result. But the sort of follow-up to beating Ajax at home, and Ajax have been shocking so far in the Champions League this year, and that very much continued for them. It was ironically men against boys, but boys versus men, and the boys being much better. What were your sort of overall takeaways from the game, sign, and this sort of run of form that we're in?
Yeah, I think it's easy to look at the fact that Ajax went down to 10 men quite early, and that obviously did help us. But I think in terms of individual performances and quality-wise, I think Chelsea were absolutely at the races last night. They were brilliant. You could tell that the players who were coming in were out to prove a point, and they could see this as a good game to do it. And then when Ajax did go down to 10 men, there was a lot more space out there, and you could just see, I know we're going to talk about him more in a minute, but players like Jamie Gittens just having more freedom and confidence just to do more. And I think the game came at a really good time. As you say, you mentioned the form. So we're in some good form at the moment. And again, we'll talk about this in a minute. We've got Sunderland at the weekend, so we can continue that form, hopefully. And, you know, before the game, I don't think Ajax had any real threat to Chelsea. I always thought it was going to be, you know, quite a simple game for Chelsea. And it was. They didn't offer anything. It was really, you know, like a walk in the park for Chelsea in the end. But it was an enjoyable game to watch. And I think the main thing was that it was entertaining and the fans loved it. You could tell that the atmosphere was great. They were enjoying watching these young players express themselves a bit more, play without fear, and with a lot of quality. And like I said a minute ago, you know, individual performances, I think that was the biggest takeaway for me. There was a lot of, like, everyone played well and everyone stood up and did their bit and really just made the most of this opportunity to play.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And we'll get into those players. I think the testament to what you're saying there was Tyreek George's reaction to scoring. I feel like so far he's been a little under the radar at Chelsea, but he seems. I did think yesterday when he scored that he has this sort of weird. He's growing into this sort of strange sort of being that I don't always think he looks overly convincing sometimes, much like Luke doesn't. But he does have an ability to score goals or be involved in those actions, and I think that's really important. And his celebration, I think, was telling. Marc Guiu was Chelsea's youngest ever Champions League goal scorer until Estevao broke it. Yeah. Which is, you know, it's lovely to see, and I'm really happy for Marc Guiu as well. Should we just talk a little bit about Estevao to start with? I mean, he's just too good for Ajax to deal with, I suppose. And actually, might as well bundle Gittens in on the same sort of group, because he too was very impressive. No.
Yeah, both of them were. Our wingers were great yesterday, and from the start as well. I mentioned that Ajax going a man down, but I think we were, you know, they were both playing very well even before that happened. So take nothing away from them. And I'll start with Estevao. I think, it's been mentioned quite a few times by the fans. It's a player who, whenever he gets the ball, everyone's on their feet. And I was speaking to someone on the live blog this morning, and we were talking about how, we haven't had that kind of player since Eden Hazard, a player where a winger attacker that gets the ball. I know Cole Palmer does it, but he's different. It's a different type of style, yeah. And Estevao has got that about him. Whenever he gets the ball, he's going to try and beat his man. He's going to try and do something, and it is very much, you can just see the fans, the anticipation whenever he gets the ball. They just know he's going to do something. So it's great to have a player like that again, a Maverick type player. But Gittens as well deserves all the praise that he's been getting today, and I've seen a lot, and I've written a whole article about it, and it's so important to do that because we were talking about here the other week about how he's been getting criticised already online, which is very premature and overly harsh. But he's picked himself up. He played with confidence. I thought every time he got the ball last night, and this was the best game I've seen from him in the Chelsea shirts so far, by the way. But every time he got the ball, he wanted to beat his man, and he wanted to get a good cross in. And that was another difference everyone's mentioned is his final ball not being good enough, and it probably hasn't until now. But last night it was. Every cross was dangerous. It was a perfect angled in cross, and he crossed it at the right time as well. So timing and decision making was there. And he just looked a threat. I think I saw a stat that he created 5 chances in the game, which is really good. And yeah, and the rest of his stats were great as well for the game. And I think Gittens and Estevao were Chelsea's early difference makers in that game. They really took the game to Ajax and made them struggle early doors. And then obviously they got the player sent off, and it became easy. Yeah,
Gittens was more that sort of creative presence in a way. All right, 5 chances created. No, Estevao had 8 shots.
Yeah, wow.
which is obviously insane. With about a combined XG/XA of about 1.7, which is pretty good. But yeah, I agree. I think it's just the game that sort of Gittens announced himself. He looked Did you see the touch with his shoulder or his back? Did you see that?
From Enzo's pass? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that long ball. Yeah, I mean, part of me, I've watched that about 5 times just before we came on here, actually, because someone reposted it, and it was a different angle. It's like the crowd angle, and I've watched it, and then part of me's thinking, has he tried to let that go past him to control, or has he purposely turned and controlled it?
I want to give him the benefit of that because as well for the England under-21s, he was really cooking people, and Jamie Gittens has this sort of strange quality of he's quite unassuming, yet he's really dribbly.
Yeah, he is.
He causes people some real issues. I'd like to. I think he did it on purpose. Because he's that type of player who does. He's actually a real flair player. He's just not overly sort of. What's the word I'm looking for? Extrovert. He's not particularly extroverted, but his football is in a way, and yeah,
he's explosive, isn't he? He's off the mark. You know what those wingers you get who stop the ball and then all of a sudden they go again. He does that, and it's quite a rare quality to have that, really.
Yeah, for sure, especially at the highest level, I suppose, to do the sort of just absolute. I think Neto does it quite well, also, just sort of staggered attempt at going forward and just sort of bombarding everyone. Estevao also on set pieces side, corners and penalties. 2 penalties in the game, right? 3 penalties overall. Is it 2 penalties for Chelsea, 1 for Ajax?
Last night, yeah.
Yeah, but Estevao taking one of the penalties, and he's on corners as well. That's a positive sign, I think.
Yeah, you can just tell they all absolutely love him and rate him so highly. I think with Enzo Maresca, we spoke about this the other week about how he's just tried to ease him in, but it must be so hard for Maresca to not just start him every single game because he's that good, and they can all see that he's that good. And for Enzo Fernandez, we'll probably talk about this again in a minute as well, but passing the ball to him for the penalty just goes to show, like, I know we were winning the game, but still it was an important penalty to score because they could have easily come back into it. And for him to hand the ball to Estevao, he knew he was going to score that.
Yeah, 100%.
It goes to show the confidence they all have in him as well.
Oh, yeah, without doubt. I mean, it is going to... I think we said actually a good few weeks back on the pod that with Estevao, it's going to be very reminiscent of the Cole Palmer. Gets introduced to the team. Oh goodness, he's really good. We have to play him all the time, and then he subsequently plays all the time, which is what I think will happen with Estevao. And you can sort of see his level there, and going back to Gittens, I'm happy that Gittens has got that sort of visibility from the fan base. I think the discourse surrounding his performance was positive overall, and I'm not mad that he got man of the match from in the official game. I know stat sites have given it to Estevao, but I'm not mad with Gittens getting it. I think Estevao will be more than happy with scoring again, so I don't think he's probably overly fussed. And Gittens has deserved it. I did see as well, Jorel Hato was interviewed after the game and said that the only teenager he's seen that's as good as Estevao's Lamine Yamal, which is, I guess, the easy answer to say, I suppose, but always nice to hear. Before we talk about other players, Marc Guiu got a mention at the top of the show. Getting his goal, was Conference League top scorer last season. We know he's going to be here for the rest of this season. From everything I hear, Si, Maresca actually likes him quite a lot, and the rest of the Chelsea hierarchy do. So I think all of us that come on this show quite like Marc Guiu. We think he's a very good presser. Obviously, he needs to have that sort of add that sort of clinical finishing nature to his game, but he's very, very young. As I said a minute ago, the youngest Chelsea goal scorer ever in the Champions League until Estevao scored the penalty. So he's still so young, but it's just promising to see him take those opportunities, I suppose, because especially for strikers, whether they're, Tammy, who had certain expectations, or Lukaku, who had great expectations, or, whoever comes in, it's never particularly linear in the development process for a striker at Chelsea. But Guiu seems to be getting things right, and especially with the injury up front, I think he's probably going to play a bit more, don't you?
He's got a lot to love about him. I think, from their kickoff yesterday when I was watching that, he literally just goes for it. He just hunts the ball and just chases. And, to have that intensity, because he does it all game, he doesn't stop. So his fitness is just incredible. But he's also a very clever player. I mean, if you watch back his goal and you watch the lead up to it, the free kick, he's hovering in an offside position, and he goes, and they leave him, and then he kind of comes back a little bit and then goes offside again as the ball comes in. And then as the ball comes across to him, he's back onside, and then he's free because nobody's marked him, because they've left him because he's offside. And it was really clever, and that's how he got the goal. I mean, I know the finish was, it wasn't a strong finish, and he kind of got a little lucky bounce, but he's a poacher, and he got himself into that position to score the goal, and it's a very important goal. But yeah, it's nice to see him get a start. I think it was coming. I think, Enzo Maresca, as you rightly say, does like a lot about him. I've heard that as well. He's been impressive in training with his hunger and his effort and his mentality as well. His attitude is very good. And he's just a quality player. But I think now, there's a decision to make. He bought him off at half time, which I did wonder about. I thought he could have given him a little bit longer to try and, do some more bits. But he did bring him off at half time. So I do wonder if he's thinking about starting him at the weekend, because I think he's earned that. And just having him there, it's nothing on João Pedro at all, because he's a quality player, but he's better deeper. And we're better with a focal point up front, and it showed that again yesterday. So I do wonder whether Maresca's thinking about starting him again up top on Saturday, and I think it would be a justified decision. I think he's done enough in the last couple of games to do that.
Bit funny old one, him starting against Sunderland, a place he toured
I didn't think that,
yeah, I think he was fairly well received from the Sunderland fans. I quite like Sunderland side. I'll be honest. I'd rather watch Sunderland win than Newcastle. Just to throw that out there. I think he certainly would be justified in starting, without question. I will say things marginally critical. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. I thought Tosin was fairly poor, and I just Jorgensen I find unconvincing. But other than that, good. You're sort of nodding along there. Jorgensen,
yeah, no, those were the two I gave bad ratings to last night. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, every player makes a mistake, so you can kind of ignore the Tosin trying to reach the ball. Like, as a genuine attempt to get the ball for the penalty.
Yeah.
You can ignore that, but I think, why is he getting himself involved with Weghorst? Not long after that, there was, Weghorst, by the way, what was he on last night? He was literally, it was like him against Chelsea all game, and he was like an animal. He reminded me of Diego Costa, kind of player you'd love on your team, but even he was doing too much in the end. And I don't know why Tosin got too involved in that. Did you see the little tackle and then the kick down on Weghorst's head, and then he had the bleed? And I think, on another day he could have been sent off for that.
I don't think you're wrong, actually. A different referee.
Yeah, or even if VAR look back at it.
Yeah.
Because, only Tosin can tell you, but everyone who's played football knows that he definitely tried to do that. Like, the weight that he moved his foot down with, he was trying to get him. It was obvious. And
it was.
Yeah, silly, because we'd have been down to 10 men then, and it could have been a different story. So that's what annoyed me more about Tosin last night rather than anything else. But yeah, I agree with that, and I agree with Jorgensen. He just doesn't look convincing at all, and he hasn't done for a long time now. I think it was an early on in the game where he came out for a long ball. Fofana was tracking the striker, and I think Fofana made the decision to cut across Jorgensen and take the ball away, which was the right decision, because Jorgensen was coming out, but he wasn't going to get there. So he could have clattered the player and got sent off as well, or get beaten and conceded a goal. So, yeah, there's a lot of question marks over Jorgensen's head, and he didn't convince again last night.
Yeah, I know. I don't disagree. I think actually when George, and Andre Santos came on, I think those three played pretty well. I just wanted to actually give you the space side to talk a little bit about Reggie Walsh, who got some minutes last night too. 16 years old, right?
Yeah. Only just.
17. He's just turned 17 on Monday. 17. 17 on Monday. Yeah. I mean, it's impressive. It's impressive that he's getting on the pitch, I suppose, isn't it? And especially when you look at, I've said the whole year that Caicedo and Enzo, Chelsea's two best players ever. The midfield's really strong. Lavia, I think, still looks great. Andre Santos is getting there. I think he looks a lot better. It's a punchy ask for Reggie Walsh, because let's face it, the two people that own those positions aren't that old anyway. And the backups aren't even as old as them, but slightly older than Reggie. It's a really condensed group, and there's, a lot of high potential there. But for him to get those minutes, it's just so valuable, isn't it?
Yeah, Reggie needs a pathway now, and they need to, seriously think about how that's going to go. I think, in the summer, he's going to have to go somewhere and play. Because, like you say, we're stacked in those positions, and he's not going to start for Chelsea yet. But he's a player that you don't even need anyone with any information to tell you that Maresca clearly loves him. He's sort of taken him under his wing. He's given him lots of opportunities to play. He's given him, quite a bit of minutes.
Yeah.
And he's you can hear him. I don't know if you heard it last night, but you can hear Maresca barking instructions onto him all game, telling him where to move to, where to go. So you can see that Maresca's there. He's kind of like, he's like his little project, if you like, and he's willing him to do well. And Reggie is the kind of player, I say this a few times about players, but you can put him anywhere on the pitch and he's going to do a very good job. He's very techie, very, very good player. He can take, any kind of pass hard at his feet. He can dink it, he can pass it himself. He can do everything. And he's been doing it in the academy. And for a player, because I think he obviously got his debut when he was 16, quite early doors. So for a player to get a debut at 16, you know that they're good, and that they're, much better than other players around their age group, because they're just getting the opportunity.
Oh yeah, for sure. It says on the bottom as well, but those who can't see, Ryan Kavum McQueen getting on the bench as well is always nice. Just to sort of elucidate size point a little bit more, and the sample size isn't great, but it's out of about 400 minutes in PL2, which is where sort of everyone knows what PL2 is. Reggie's stats are really quite impressive. I mean, he's in the top 4% of players for successful passes, top 20% for pass accuracy, long balls, top 10%, long ball accuracy, top 20%, chances created in the top 5%, basically. His dribble success in the top 10%, his touches in the opposition box, top 15%, touches in general, he's in the top 90%. And even his sort of duels won, he's in the top 25%. He's quite a diminutive player. But you're right, Si. He's kind of all action. He's got that sort of Swiss Army knife approach to him. Yep. Hopefully, there is a pathway. Maybe a Football League loan is probably something that's being considered at this point. Imagine these types of cameos will probably endear and garner some interest. I'd probably be looking at Upper League One, sort of mid-championship level. That would be ideal, obviously. But yeah, lovely to see, and it's important for Chelsea, regardless of all the change that's been going on and all the young players that you bring in, that Cobham is still a sort of central figure, and we're seeing that with Reece at the moment, and obviously Achimpong, Chalobah, everyone else that we can reference. So it's really good to see, and I think a 5-1 victory really helps Chelsea in the Champions League. It's just, I think it's much more of, we should win this, and we have therefore then won it. Is quite nice to have those sort of comforting aspects of the game take place, Si. So up next, wonderful Sunderland in the Premier League. I did say, I think on a show with Luke, either on here or on their podcast, that I think Sunderland's business in the summer was my favourite across Europe. And it's really paid dividends for them. They've got the identical record to Chelsea in the Premier League. So it should be fairly even and fairly contested. But I am fairly confident that Chelsea will be able to get a result. How are you feeling?
It's a game we should be winning, isn't it? We're at home. I mean, I haven't, obviously I've seen them play, but I don't really know how to assess Sunderland at the moment. I don't know really what to expect. I know a few of their games that they've won. I mean, they beat Wolves 2-0 and they had, I think, 42% possession and less shots and less chances than Wolves, but they still beat them 2-0. And so it's an interesting one. I think, what to expect is really they're going to come to Chelsea, and I don't think they're going to be coming at us. I think they're going to be sitting off and trying to get something. So it's going to be, again, up to Chelsea to try and break them down. So, yeah, it could be an interesting game, but it is a game that I expect Chelsea to win, especially, as I mentioned earlier, the momentum. Chelsea have won 5 games now in the last 6. So it's a chance to keep that going. If they win this one, it would be their 5th game in a row. So, yeah, I mean, for that really is enough incentive and motivation for Chelsea to go and do the job. But we know that it's never that easy in the Premier League. It never goes that way. So, yeah, it is a game I can see why people might be a little bit concerned about. They're, as you say, same points as us in the league at the moment so far this season. They've got some good players. Interestingly, I didn't know that Bertrand Traore played for them. Is that something new? Or?
Yeah. Is that something new? Did you say?
Yeah, was he there last season?
I don't think so.
No.
I think he's new for this season.
He's 30 years old now as well. That kind of shocked me. I thought he was still only like 20.
Yeah, I hate that, and I'm not that old, but like, I hate it when players are sort of have been around for ages, and I look and they're kind of my age, and it's like,
how did that happen?
Yeah, it's absolutely brutal. Sunderland are having a very, very impressive season, to be honest. They 4 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, as I said, same as Chelsea. Sat behind Chelsea in the league based on goal difference. For Sunderland, their standout performers have been defensive. I mean, it's without question. I mean, Isidor's got 3 goals, which is, great because it's been absolutely key for them. But it's really in the defence where their team sort of comes into its own. Hume, Alderte, Ballard, and Mukiele. I mean, I can't believe Mukiele is playing at Sunderland. That is mind-blowing. Given it was him and Upamecano that were the next 2 up. And I'm not actually saying that as a disrespect. I think moving to Sunderland's great and being in the Premier League is great. But to go from PSG to Sunderland is interesting. Even the goalkeeper's having a nice time. Is his name Roofs, something like that. He's been a very good performer for Sunderland overall. I'm expecting this game to be sort of one of the catalysts in causing the separation. And the separation is, as you get further into the start of the season, things begin to shake out in the way that you broadly expect it. And this is the type of fixture where those things, I think, begin to happen. Chelsea beat Sunderland, okay, no longer on the same points. And then Sunderland have got, who are Sunderland playing next? And they've got Everton, Arsenal, Fulham and Bournemouth. And, even Fulham away is not an easy game. So their next 5 fixtures are quite rough. And I think this is where those points of separation come into the league. And I'm expecting Chelsea to be fairly professional with their approach. And, I like Sunderland's team. I think they've signed well, as I said. I really, really like Mukiele. I like Enzo Lefebvre. I like Chris Rigg as well. They play at 10, the young lad. He'll probably garner a lot more interest, especially if Sunderland stay up, then that will obviously massively help his value. But I'm expecting Chelsea to win, and Xhaka has such a massive impact, but I'm expecting Caicedo and Enzo to be able to cope.
Yeah.
And then Isidore, obviously, with 3 goals in however many games that the teams have played, 8 games or something like that, is a very good return. But again, I'm expecting that the Chelsea defence can hold firm against it, and so therefore, I think Chelsea might win. But do you have any expectation on who you think is going to play?
Yeah, interesting one, isn't it? Because I think Gusto might be injured. He obviously wasn't around last night, so you could see who he rested. He rested Reece James. He took off Caicedo quite early, Fernandes quite early. So it's going to be as we'd expect it. I think, depending on injuries. The only question mark is up top, because as I said earlier, he brought João Pedro back into the 10 role in the last game when he put Guiu on, and it was so much better. So does he go with that from the off? I don't think Estevao is going to start. I think he's still at the moment just bedding him in for league games. So I don't think he'll start. So I think Pedro Neto will be back in again. Didn't play last night. Gittens, I think again Maresca had the thinking of the weekend, so he's going to start Garnacho in that one against Sunderland, and then at the back it's basically whoever's available, isn't it? I think
whoever puts the hand up, yeah,
because the injuries there. I mean, Fofana, it was good to see him back last night. We haven't mentioned him, but I thought he was good last night. I've been quite critical of him last few games, but I thought he was good again last night. He was playing with a lot more maturity, I guess, and just was a lot calmer. I usually see him a bit more headless. So I mean, he's got a shout to start, and obviously Tosin played and Chalobah came on, so maybe Chalobah starts in this one and Tosin sits out. But there's some big calls to make.
And hopefully it's a fairly comfortable next round of fixtures for Chelsea, and Chelsea can see it through. I think looking around at the rest of the league, I mean, I'm hoping, just because it would be funny, that Palace can do something away at Arsenal. I think City being away at Villa is not too difficult. Everton Tottenham's going to be quite an interesting game, and also Manchester United Brighton too. Newcastle very quietly getting away with a very poor start to the season, I will say. I bet you Semenyo's price has gone up even more from the 70 million that they asked for in the summer. I actually wonder how much Semenyo is going to cost someone now if they want to buy him.
He has a release clause. He has a release. Okay. Yeah. He does now.
Okay. I
don't know what it is though.
No. And also, can I just add this on to this? I think I was thinking about this the other day, and I thought it was being a bit grumpy, so I can say it on this podcast. I hate this 007 thing, man.
You hate James Bond?
No, you come on, man. Like, on Twitter, if a new signing's not scored or assists in 7 games, they're called 007, and then Sky have been making graphics of 007 on it.
Right.
It's just clearly you've not seen it.
I've not seen it, and it sounds like I'm glad that I've not seen it.
Oh, it's so bad. It's just the whole bit of football discourse predicated on people not doing very well. I think, for example, Verts cancelled his 008 or whatever it was, got cancelled out because he got an assist when Liverpool beat Frankfurt or something.
No, that's just nuts. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It's not particularly enjoyable. But anyway, go on.
I was just going to say, there's so many players who were signed in the summer and have been shit so far, but
Yeah.
people are writing them off already, and that's just stupid. That's really stupid. Like obviously Newcastle, Isak going to Liverpool, they're writing him off there already, and Wirtz as well is being written off. It's just
He looks so good as well. I can't like the Wirtz thing is driving me nuts because if you actually watch them play when he plays, like he could have had 5 assists already, but they've hit the post, or his one-touch passing so good. Like
it's mad. It's mad. Those are really good players, and they're gonna bang eventually. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Okay, so score prediction, Si, for the weekend: Chelsea versus Sunderland at home Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
What do you think?
3 o'clock kickoff as well. It's the classic time for a kickoff.
Yes, sir.
I'm going for 2-0 to Chelsea.
Clean sheet, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I like that. I think, I was going to say 3-1 instinctively, but your 2-0 sounds pretty nice. Because I
think it will stay 0-0 for a little while to start with, and then the usual thing will happen. Maresca will go nuts at half time, and then we'll come out and we'll get a couple of goals and see him off.
I will say, actually, before we go, Chelsea's performances, it's been great that we've won, but I mean, 2 penalties, deflected goals. It's been
You're going there, Joe. You can't.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying, no. What I'm saying is Chelsea at the moment have that element of being a chaos agent, which is quite a profound thing for the club, in truth, because Chelsea on the pitch have always been able to sort of cause some chaos and guide the ship through it. And it seems at the moment like that's happening. Red cards and deflected goals and penalties, and do you know what I mean? Like it's just a little bit.
Yeah. No, I do know what you mean, and I agree. I think. It could have been different stories. Some of these games that we've watched lately. I mean, the Forest game could have been a completely different story.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think at this point, it's like I say every match report. If I'm writing some negative stuff, I'll always follow that up with. At the end of the day, we won the game and we got a result, which is literally what football is all about. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, I don't disagree, and hopefully we can continue going forward. I mean. Not that I think it's the goal for anybody, but only actually 5 points away from Arsenal. It's not like things are miles away from being really, really positive. I mean, one of those draws to wins, and actually we're only 3 points away from the top of the league, and things look a bit different. So I'm hoping that Chelsea can begin to put away because, do you know what I did the other day, Si? I looked at the have you seen Chelsea's final few games of the season?
No, I haven't gone that far yet.
Would you like me to tell you who they are? Just because I looked and it made me laugh.
It could be significant.
Yeah, it is actually. Okay, so I will start in the. Where's best to start? I'm going to start. Okay, I'm going to start on the 28th of February. And I'm going to read down until the 24th of May, okay?
Okay.
So on the 28th of February, Chelsea have Arsenal away. Then the 4th of March, it's Villa away. Then Newcastle at home. Then Everton away. Then City at home. Then United at home. Then Brighton away. Forest at home. Liverpool away. Spurs at home. And then
wow.
Liverpool, Spurs, Forest, Brighton, United, City, Newcastle, Everton, Villa and Arsenal. So basically the top half, including Everton. Man, it's really rough. Both Manchester teams back to back as well.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, it's a really tough one. And Liverpool, Spurs, Sunderland is the final 3 games, and away at Anfield being one of them as well.
There's some banana skins thrown in there as well. You got your Everton and your Villa in there as well. Yeah,
I know. Even Newcastle at home, I mean, is one I expect to see Chelsea win, but. It's not ideal. Like from the 28th of February to the end of the season, it's genuinely Chelsea play the top half, apart from Forest and Everton.
Wow. Yeah, that's a bum deal, isn't it? We need to get some. We need to keep winning now, then, basically.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. From now till the end of February, Chelsea need to not lose a game. Essentially, that'd be ideal. Okay. Well, let's leave it there. We'll be back next week to discuss. There's no Champions. Is there Champions League next week? No. Okay, good.
Every other, I think, isn't it?
Every other. Okay, fine. That's nice. So we'll be back to discuss all things Chelsea then. The Chelsea Sunderland game will be a little bit gone, but we'll touch on it, I'm sure, on everything else that comes up, and look ahead to the weekend fixtures. So for myself and Si, thank you so much for listening, guys, and we'll catch you next week. Bye bye.